All right, cool. Hey, family, bringing to you the fourth episode of Just a Conversation, and today we're with my sister Emily Brady. So, Em,
Hi, everybody.
yeah. So, tell us about yourself, and what's going on with you and your life. How old are you?
Okay, so this is actually my first podcast. I've always wanted to be on a podcast.
Cool,
so
sweet.
I'm super excited. But anyways, I'm 23 years old. Right now, I'm a personal trainer and an online coach. So I have an online coaching business, which I actually I have more clients online than in person right now, but that's pretty much takes up most of my time at the moment. And I'm also in school as well, but that's more of a side thing at the moment as well. So, wait, what else was I gonna say? What else did you ask me?
I don't know. That I just kind of asked, what's going on? What do you got going on in your life? You recently moved out of the house.
That was actually like 5 months ago now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's crazy, huh?
It's been 5 months. I was just thinking about that, and I'm already almost halfway through the lease.
Oh my goodness.
Did you realize that?
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's so weird. It feels like just yesterday in a way,
I know. Dude, I know.
So, actually, I like this. I like this idea of, so you're 23, right? You have your own business.
I do.
Which is doing really well, and it's
Yeah.
afforded you the ability to move out on your own and live on your own. So what's that like? What's like some of the things that you've had to kind of overcome, or like some of the weird obstacles you didn't like think, oh my God, what is this?
What are things I had to overcome to move out on my own? Or
Yeah, let's start with that then. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, well, the job that I had prior to getting into having my own business did not allow me financially to be able to support myself. Also, it was not fulfilling or anything that I was interested in or enjoyed doing. So it really just started with like figuring out what it is that I wanted to do. And once I decided, we talked about it. Like I've been wanting to move out for so long, but it was like I was always trying to force it. It was never the right time, and I wasn't ready, even though I thought I was. And it was really weird, though, because I feel like once I finally did move out, everything just fell into place at the right time. And don't get me wrong, like, it was scary still, of course, because, like, I literally started my business pretty much the same time that I moved out, like...
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, right before,
like,
yeah.
But, like, everything, like... picked up really fast, and like it all just like the ball started rolling, and I was like, I don't really know where this is gonna go or how stable this will be or any of those factors, but like I need to roll with this like feeling.
Yeah.
And
okay.
so honestly, I just decided there's no other way this is happening, and I just went with my gut feeling to make it happen, I guess. But that's it, really.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, you
everything
touched on
changed.
some, like huge part, like important factors. One of them, you had a gut feeling.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does a gut feeling mean? Like,
it's just a knowing. Like when you know, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like, do I know? Am I ready? It's just like, you know in your heart when you want something or when something's for you or you're ready.
So where did you like come to a place? Because like in my experience, a lot of that comes where like I come to a place where it's like, oh, I need to trust myself. Like I can do this, or I can make this happen in my life. Having a sense of confidence and awareness and trusting yourself. Like, did you feel like you came to like this kind of crossroads where you were like, no, I can do this. I am capable,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, of course, I did have a little bit of fear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But interestingly enough, I think I was more scared of continuing to be in a place that I didn't want to be. So...
Right. either be miserable.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you have to choose one of the two things that are scary or uncomfortable, and decide which one you want to go for. But no, I don't know. It was just like I knew I was ready, and I wanted to start the next chapter of my life. I was ready to like release things, move on from things, and just kind of like step into the person that I'm becoming, want to be, and all of those other things. So yeah,
that's right.
That's kind of it. But it's been great. I love it. I love living on my own. I love doing what I'm doing for work, and life is very different now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I'm sure.
Life feels different.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But
what do you mean?
I'm just saying, like I don't know. I just think that I don't know at what point like there was like this transition, but I mean, we've touched on it. It's just life feels different.
It is.
It is different.
It is different.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, what are like some of the things that you do in your life to kind of help navigate while living on your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
And running your own business. How do you manage your time? Like, what is it that you do? How is it you're successful? Because there has to be some sort of like schedule, some sort of time management. I mean, what does your day look like usually?
Yeah, so I have to juggle what feels like a million things because, there's always more to do. Even when you have crossed everything off of your list, you still feel like there's more, especially, like, at least that's how I feel. I feel like something that I need to work on is I feel like I'm just still not doing enough sometimes, even though I'm doing the most at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And as far as like actually organizing goes, like I'm a big planner, like physical planner type of person.
Oh, okay. So you like to write your stuff
down?
I
have to write it down. I have to write it down. I don't know. So I'll write down my whole week like in my planner. I'll look through all the days and have it all organized. And I'll even go so far as to also I have a notebook too that I just jot random things down in. I will literally also, depending if I have like a really hectic schedule, write like, okay, I'll literally just write down like Monday to-dos, and I'll literally every single thing I need to do, I'll also write it down separate. Like I don't know why I do the most.
No. This is actually really good information, Em. This is not one of my particular practices.
Oh yeah.
That I'm very good at. I write things down, but the way that you do, this is how your mind works. This is really good. Mm-hmm. This is also kind of the representation of how the masculine energy inside of you likes to kind of come out a lot, you know, and have things orderly in that way.
Orderly, controlled, like all of that. No, 100%. That's a good point. I never thought about it like that, but I just really enjoy structure and order, and that's how I do my best in. And I can't just be like having all these thoughts in my head and like not write it down on paper.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy crossing things out too. It's satisfying. It's rewarding.
All right. So you've developed this mechanism in your brain.
It's a real thing. It like,
is.
Releases endorphins.
Yes, it is. This is a very real thing.
If I do something that I hadn't written on my list to do and I did it, I'll write it on the list after and cross it out.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's that extra.
No, but that's okay. But so, like, this is the cool little games that we can play with ourselves to give ourselves, this is where we develop the reward, a new reward center, a new reward system in our mind, in our body. You know, so, like, you doing this, it sounds funny, or maybe it's a bit extreme, but it's delivering results. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're in, right? We want the results, you know? So this is a methodology, you know, a system that you're using that helps increase your potential, so the more things you're crossing off, as silly as it may seem, this is energy. Everything's energy. Yeah. And you seeing it, making a statement, going through and, you know, finishing something, that's creating cycles on a much larger scale that we don't actually realize. So you're doing this every day.
Every day. I can't not. I have to bring my planner with me everywhere as well. I need it. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's just, that's how I know I succeed. So I continue carrying that out, and it's something I do all the time, always. I love writing things out, and also like not just like day-to-day tasks, but like like goals. Like the next 3 months I want to achieve this, and that.
Oh yeah.
That is also super helpful when just goal setting, planning, and breaking it up instead of like this year I want to do this, and this.
Yeah.
It's better to do, or easier to plan to do it like 3 months at a time or something like that. But
so you like to do quarterly?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that brings up an interesting point too. At least in my life, in my experiences so far, I honestly don't see the cultivation or the manifestation of the work that I'm doing until about 3-6 months down the line.
Yeah.
You know, so as you're achieving these, you know, quarterly goals or seasonal goals, you know, because that's kind of how we operate, is seasonally.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
You know?
also, I think that it's just so easy to get overwhelmed with all the things you want to accomplish. So
Yeah.
that, like, it's amazing to have, like, New Year goals and resolutions and everything, but I know for me, the second I get overwhelmed, I want to give up altogether.
Okay.
Like, when I have too much on my plate, I just shut down, and I need to, like, crawl into, like,
yeah,
a
this
hole.
is the fight or flight.
Yeah,
thing. You
and
go,
like,
"Ah!"
and like, just nobody talk to me, don't even, whatever.
Right.
But, so I think that just taking little bits at a time is so much better, and you'll succeed so much more. And also, like, it's more of, like, a tangible thing, and also, like you said, like, you can just focus on also recognizing, like, dang, I accomplished this in this amount of time. Okay, cool, now I can work on this next project. Now I can work on this next project. Instead of, like, okay, a little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing ever being complete. Because that's also a problem that I have too.
Right.
Because it's like you have so many goals and you have so much you want to be involved in, and it's like you dabble a little here, but you never complete it.
Yeah.
That's so, like, frustrating to me when I can't mark it off the list and I can't complete it. And so it's just helpful to, like, take a little bit at a time and split it up. But
So that's interesting. You brought up another point there, and again, it comes back to time management, right? And like, there's been a lot of things that I've come into, you know, contact with and experienced where I didn't quite finish because it was like, oh, that's actually not where I want to place my energy anymore.
yeah.
You know, and that in and of itself is a completion because
That's
it's,
true.
you know, a realization
That's
that
very
like,
true.
oh, you know what? I didn't want to really finish that.
No, exactly. And that's, like, kind of what I experienced when I had that predicament with school this semester.
Oh, yeah, because you want to finish it.
Yeah, and it was like
And you're realizing that
realization.
there's something much more than, you know, the school systems.
That's very true. But yeah, that was like a realization of, like,
I mean,
am I doing this just to complete it? And that's a big question with things. Like,
It
the
is.
why behind it.
Right.
And I think, like you just said, the realization behind maybe this isn't for me is just as much of an accomplishment as actually completing it.
Right.
As well.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you came and you got the experience that you needed.
Yeah.
It's in alignment for what's best for you, or what, you know, like in our experience as we're traveling through these vessels, it's it's not like, oh, you know, somebody else's makeup is good for me. Yeah, certain things might be, but that's what we're, you know, floating around and figuring out, like, oh wait, no, my energy doesn't really get used the best in this area. I'm going to move it over here instead, you know. And that's a big part of what at least what I felt, what I was supposed to be doing in my 20s, even though, you know, a good portion of it was spent using drugs, I guess, but
It happens, you know.
That's the other thing, though, too. So, you know, and like, maybe you could speak on that. Being 23 years old, especially in the kind of society, I guess, like with your age, what about like partying and drinking and drug usage? Like, what is that like? What does that look like? Is that kind of been in your life? I mean, obviously, I know you don't use drugs, Em, but
I'm like, well, yeah, that's. You know, it's funny, I haven't really been asked that question before, but it's interesting because I think that my experience with that is probably different than most, maybe, I would say, or at least people my age, maybe, because I never had a crazy party phase.
Yeah, right.
I never, like, had a period of time where I, like, went off the deep end, or, like, even in, like, a way that wasn't the most extreme, like, not,
yeah,
you know.
I know. Like me.
Like you. I'm like, I don't want to say that. No.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
no. But I would say, like, when I was in high school, I definitely did go to parties here and there and did the classic drinking or smoking weed or whatever, sneaking out, whatnot.
Yeah, the
scene.
Sneaking, yeah.
Even then, it was never that extreme, though. It was still on the lighter end of things.
Right.
And I quickly realized in high school, to be honest with you, that it did nothing for me at all. And not only that, but it was so much bigger than just, like, partaking in, like, using those substances or whatnot. It was like, I don't connect or feel anything with these people in the crowd either. Which is, like, the bigger issue there, you know?
That's a really great observation.
Yeah, and so I had an interesting high school experience all around, and it was around, like, sophomore year that some drama happened in school. I got in a lot of trouble. I almost got expelled.
Yeah, I remember. It was a weird it was a weird turn of events.
It was
right?
a weird
some
turn.
Boys were bullying you, kind
it
of.
Was to do with
and
boys.
Then there was some
and
stuff on your phone that was incriminating evidence.
And
they went through your phone.
Of a 16-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was honestly one of the most significant things I've gone through.
Oh wow, yeah. That's like when that was a scary time. You almost got expelled, right?
I almost got expelled, and we don't need to, like, get into all of that necessarily, but what I will say about that is it made me realize a lot about friendship and, like, the high school scene in general.
Yeah.
Also, not to mention how certain things are run in the school system, let alone a Catholic school. And again, I'm not gonna expose anyone here or name any names, but
right.
Yeah,
I know.
I would say I personally would never send my child to something like that to experience that. Anyway, but so with that being said, after that experience, I kind of was like, fuck all this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm gonna be here because I need to, and I'm not an adult yet. I have to finish high school.
Right.
But then I got a job as soon as I could.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make money. So,
yes.
So I started working at a restaurant for my first job, and all of my friends were my coworkers, and that's what I cared about more.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't learning a whole lot in school, to be honest, anyway. Mom wouldn't be too happy to hear that one, but it is what it is. And school would end, I would run to my car.
Wow.
I would go to the gym.
Yeah.
I would go home, I would change, get ready for my shift. And then I would be up late at night. I'd get home around midnight, and I was late to school every day. I was late every day. I compiled so many tardies that I ended up getting some Saturday detention.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Like, I'm just trying to work. Like, I was just tired in the morning. But anyways, so I guess I just, like...
I think most teenagers are tired in the morning.
They're all tired for some reason.
They're all tired.
Everyone's tired.
Something.
Yeah, who knows? But anyway, so my interests were elsewhere, and that's when I really started getting into working out and just kind of like this journey of, like, self-love and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I feel like you should speak a little bit more on that, Em, because you and I both have a very similar kind of experience with our bodies, growing into them, and so maybe kind of share about that, because you were not stoked for a while about how you felt, right, in your body.
This is true. You're like, wait, right? Like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, God, that's like a whole... That was a whole thing for me. So my relationship with my body and loving myself, fitness, health has been a long journey for me, and it's been all over the map,
Of course,
so obviously being a coach and a trainer, like, my clients will make the assumption that I've always looked a certain way, or I've always felt a certain way about myself, or always perceived myself a certain way, and all of that's false. I was unhappy with how I felt, and so I got into working out. He's closing the door. I got into working out. Actually, I think you and Dylan first showed me some stuff in the gym. I like went to the gym with you guys like really early in the morning a couple times, and
when we were training together.
This was in Lake Forest.
Yeah, in Lake Forest. Yeah, I remember.
And I didn't even have a car at the time yet. And I remember I literally would like hike to the gym to work out.
And Ryder was like what? Maybe 1 years old. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was little.
Yeah.
But anyways, and it still continues to be a journey. I mean, just because I feel like this point in time I love myself the most I ever have, it doesn't mean that you're not still like constantly facing struggles that you maybe did in the past too. Right? I mean,
absolutely.
I feel like if you've ever been overweight or uncomfortable with how you look, like, you kind of have some, like, body dysmorphia creep up sometimes. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It happens to me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's weeks or days where I'm like, oh, my God, I feel so great. And then there's days and weeks that I don't. And also, not to mention, with what I do, I don't just coach or train women. Like, I make content, and I am constantly filming myself. I'm constantly posting fitness content to inspire and whatever, reach people and help them. And because I can also be a perfectionist, it's just like an immense amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's like the pressure of you just wanting to look good on any day of the week because that's just how you feel. But then also add, you need to look good because you have people looking up to you.
Yeah. And then
also add, your business is
reliant
largely based on this. And it's just like the layers keep piling on.
Yeah.
So, as much as I've been loving life and growing and experiencing everything, of course there's still some struggle within it. And one of the things is I've experienced days or weeks where I'm like, I don't want to look at myself. I don't want to film right now.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get in your head about it, but then you kind of have to like reset and remember like the why behind it, and also that you're human and you're gonna not always feel like $1,000,000. And that's also why I'm super stoked to like even be talking on this podcast today, because I don't want the only message and things that I post and put out there to be like just fitness stuff. Like, right. I want to have people get to know me better as a person, because obviously I have more to offer than just how to work out.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't want that to be my whole identity, because that's not how I see myself. Is just a trainer or just a coach or just somebody that posts fitness content. It's right. Obviously a lot more to it. So yeah, it's been a really long journey, but I mean, I made it this far, and I'm still continuing down it. But yeah, my relationship with all that, as you know, has been up and down and all over the place. But yeah, I this is something I also definitely tell my clients. I'm like, look, you guys, like, I know this is day one for you, but trust me, I had a day one too. Everybody does. Yeah. So it's just, it's much, much more than just about physical results. And that's also something I preach in my coaching, being like a lifestyle coach, is I heavily try to include like the emotional and spiritual aspect of the journey, because it's all tied in together. Right. It's all one.
It's all one,
so, yeah. That's how I feel about that. But. So,
yeah, I mean, what you've been to the studio and experienced like different forms of spiritual exploration, I guess I could say. What about breathwork? How's breathwork affected your life or been a part of your life?
Yeah, so breathwork has been a really amazing experience for me. I wish that, as you know, I could go weekly.
Yeah.
But, right now with my schedule with school, I have class at night, usually when he hosts his breathwork, so haven't been able to go super recently. But, yeah, I've had an interesting experience with breathworks because, I think we both know that or I've talked to you about this before, that it is difficult sometimes for me to like completely surrender to the moment or experience in that setting. Okay?
Yeah.
Because like there's always a million things going on in my head and in my life, and it's like I have something to do, I have to go here, I have to, like, it's just a lot on my plate.
Right.
So it's hard to turn that off and just be present and be somewhere for you and only thinking about you. Like, that's difficult. So my first experience with breathworks to like my most recent was definitely not equal, because you know, in time, like as you do it more,
absolutely, yeah,
you're able, it's like
it's a muscle.
It's a muscle, yeah. Exactly. So it's a very cool experience. I mean, I think it's really crazy to me how you don't know what your body is gonna do, or your mind or your emotions. You have no idea how you're gonna respond. And I think that so often, like, people, you know, we're all busy, and I think with that we sometimes neglect how we really feel, and or even push it down or run away from it. And I know something that I do is when I am hurting, I'm productive, like the most productive you ever seen, because that's my coping mechanism.
That's how you transmute it.
Yeah, it's like you have to, for me, I have to do something physical and like have a physical thing when that happens. So anyway, with breathworks, it's cool because I think it just allows you to release whatever it is that you truly need to release, that you didn't know you maybe needed to release or experience or feel. And it's like a weight off of your shoulders at the end of it. And, you know, every time is not the same. You never know what you might feel. One might be super intense and emotional. The other one, nothing much happens other than you're just chilling there. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had a really good experience with it, I would say.
That's
for
great.
Sure.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because breathing is so important. And when we're talking about breath work, we're talking about holotropic style of breathing in a ceremony setting that we've done at Peace and Harmony. And but all around, when it comes to training and, you know, working with your clients, because I mean, I worked in the health and fitness industry for a long time as well, and I understand. Like that was a big reason why I had to take a step back from it, because everything is so about the body. Yeah. You know, it's actually not till recently that I've kind of like come more forward and doing more fitness content and stuff myself. You know, mostly because I'm just driven to well, it's like you said, the way that you transmute your energy is through movement. Yeah. This is one of the ways that we can alchemize or transmute, you know, or change what's going on within us and around us. So you know, I mean, working out is a form of meditation. You're moving your body consciously in a pattern and repetitious form with breathing. Right. I mean, you are creating new neural pathways. You are creating new habits when you're moving the body.
Yeah, and I think like it's super crazy to me how like it literally is moving energy and things within your body. Yeah. Where like you don't just have a emotional response to it, but you also like can go numb and tingle and all those.
Oh, with the breathing, yeah,
with breathing, all those crazy things, and you're just like, that all took place from breathing. Yep. You're not even like taking anything. Like that's crazy.
Well, that's the energy pathways in the body. And honestly, the large majority, and I guess I end up talking about this pretty much every episode, but a large majority of the water and the food and the hygiene products that we're using are numbing us. They're keeping us silenced just enough, or they're calcifying certain parts of our body, like our pineal gland, and keeping us from being able to actually feel all of the energies that are around us. And that are occurring, and a lot of them are keeping us from, you know, tapping into the energy lines, just our 7 main chakra centers. You know, if we take an understanding and start developing an understanding of these energy centers on our body, our manifestation abilities, our ability to navigate life, our ability to heal our body, all of it is amplified drastically. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I mean, yeah, it's intense when you breathe, and our lungs produce more DMT than even our brain. Okay, so when you breathe in a particular fashion, creating a mechanism in the body like a propeller or a yeah, almost like a seesaw in a way. You're opening up the lungs, and when you do that, you start to stimulate chi moving throughout the body and pushing throughout the meridians, which are energy pathways that lay throughout the body adjacent to our circulatory system.
Mm-hmm.
And when they haven't been flushed before or opened up in a long time, yeah, you'll lose feeling in your arms because of the energy's flowing so freely that it hasn't had this opportunity, and it's literally traumas are stuck inside of us.
Yeah.
Traumas are stuck inside of us, you know. They need to come out. We're not
crazy.
Supposed to hold on to that shit.
No. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I move my body all day, you know. I try to be as open as a vessel or chamber or whatever person, because I don't like to feel tight. And I realize I just got to keep moving my body all the time.
No, it is really interesting, like, how we are very numb to a lot of things that we shouldn't be because of what we're consuming and whatnot. But, you know, doing those sorts of practices and stuff really helps you connect better to yourself and everything. And everything, like, you're able to trust your gut more, listen to yourself more, understand your body more, be more in tune with yourself. Like, obviously being in fitness and everything, I would say I'm pretty in tune with my body, but like it's taken to a whole nother level when you tie it into like emotional and spiritual and everything else as well. So
because our muscles carry memory, and so does the fascia in our body. Did you know that? So like when certain traumas happen, and they can get stored in the fascia, so you can release these things in the body, you know, when you do fascia release. But it's also really important to understand what's occurring, because traumas can be coming out. You want to be in a safe environment if you're you know, like exploring these types of modalities of healing, really. You know, a lot of people, we don't understand that we can have something trapped or stored inside the body from when we were children, you know, that we thought that we let go of or whatever, and it's no one's fault. It's just, okay, we explore it, we found it, let go of it, you know. It's not an overnight process though, you know. It's just
no, definitely not. Definitely.
And then stacking new traumas on top, and that's what we want to avoid, you know. And so, you know, it's like it's especially for me lately, you know, exploring these types of behaviors that pop up in my life where I'm like, oh, again, that's stealing my energy, you know. That's not me managing my time, my energy, my essence properly, you know. Maybe I should navigate into a different direction.
Definitely. Just being like extra mindful of like what you're putting your time and energy into, and to who as well.
Yep.
I mean, if you know me at all, you know I'm definitely really picky with like who I surround myself with, and you should be, because you know you are who you hang out with. Like your best friend, like whoever they are, will say a lot about probably who you are, you know. And so I spend actually a lot of time alone, to be honest. But
yeah, I get you. Me too.
I need to be alone a lot, to be honest with you, like to recharge, and because I feel like I really have become really sensitive to like people, like being in somebody's presence impacts you. It does. And you have to be mindful of who you're around, and also learn how to like navigate that and protect yourself.
You know, and that is it right there, Em, and that's pretty much what's been going on, you know. And I mean, so you're speaking to it now, you know. Okay, it's one thing that I've over the last few years, things are changing, we're getting sensitive, you know. But now you're feeling it. You're like, whoa, wait a second, like that person's vibes are off. I don't want that. And the other thing too is we're realizing is we become what we spend our time around. You know, we become our environment. And there's also this type of bonding that occurs when we're spending time around people. We actually start becoming them and they start becoming us, because we appear to be two separate people, okay? But really we're just vibrating at different rates, and you appear solid and this appears solid, but this is just vibrating faster than I am, so I can't put my body through it, you know? But the wind can come right through because the wind's vibrating at a faster rate than everything else. But it's a different matter altogether. Okay, so but what I'm trying to say is, essentially, we're getting more sensitive, and we're becoming more aware of the fact that there's a lot of people that are mismanaging their energy, and essentially they're vampires or succubuses or whatever you want to call them. They're taking from you, and we are allowing it.
Mm-hmm.
We are allowing it. You know, so it's about creating these boundaries in our life. And if that looks like taking time to yourself so that you can recharge. I mean, I spend a lot of time by myself too.
Yeah.
I mean, lately I've been with the baby a lot more than anything, you know, but yeah, I spend a lot of time in meditation, you know, working with my energy bodies, because it is a lot. And you know, some people are like, why don't you leave the house? Well, because I like to be outside. And you can speak to this too, because you've been in the sun pretty much like more than almost anybody else in the family. You spend more time in the sun, but this thing heals, you know.
It does. No, I like, speaking of which,
the sun heals us.
I mean, first of all, sitting here feeling this on me feels insane, because I haven't been in the sun much lately.
Oh wow, yeah, because you moved.
Because of a few things. Well, first off, it's definitely been consistently colder than it usually is. That's
true.
The first thing. Second, at my apartment, the placement of kind of like where I live exactly, I kind of feel like I'm in a shadow sometimes, where I don't even like really know if the sun's out. Like, I'll leave the parking structure,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh, the sun's out. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I thought it was gonna be kind of cool. I had a jacket on earlier,
yeah.
But anyway, so I know when I need to like recharge in the sun.
Yeah.
And naturally, I migrate towards warmth and the sun. Summer's my favorite time of year. I was born in the summer. Like, I'm a fire sign.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just love the sun, and that's when I feel like I can't even explain it. Like, this feels so nice right now.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
But being outside is really important for sure. I need to implement that more. It's just.
Well, I mean, you were living here. You were living here for a while.
Living here was incredible, to be able to be outside so much, just in the backyard. And
yeah, I know. I love it.
This.
I usually have my shirt off. I'm getting the sun on me every day. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, because even now I'm getting more sensitive, as everyone else is starting to get like, I'm very, very sensitive. I can't even spend very much time inside these days anymore. I have to be outside more than I'm inside.
I mean,
who does that?
It's interesting.
It sounds bizarre, right?
It doesn't though. It
because
makes sense to me.
Most of us are not outside more than we're inside these days.
It's the opposite. Yeah, we want to be inside more than outside, but we need to connect more to outside.
Yeah,
it
we
really
need to be outside more.
You immediately feel different when you step outside.
You do. I saw this, you know, meme, or somebody was, you know, making kind of a joke, but he was being somewhat serious on Instagram, you know, like this reel the other day, where he said, you know, I thought I had really bad depression and I was really having a bad day, you know, and then he went outside in the sun.
Oh my God.
It's like, turns out I'm just a confused
Oh,
plant.
I saw that. That's really funny, but it's also true.
I know.
I guarantee you people would experience less depression or whatnot,
well, you know,
if they went outside.
It's not by design, is it, family, that, you know, you take away your oxygen and your sunlight. I mean, come on.
No, for real. That's the whole,
You want to heal, breathe in that prana, that life force energy outside with the sun on your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you won't get sick. Not as much. Barely.
I don't get sick.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got anything else that you wanted to kind of talk about, Em? I mean, that could be cool for our first time getting together, or I mean, whatever. If you feel, this has been super rad.
Yeah,
we
it's
talked
been
about
great.
some cool stuff.
I mean, I didn't actually want to like necessarily bring certain events up or conversations up. I just wanted to kind of see where the conversation went.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, do you have anything else you want to talk about? I can talk about anything, but
well, yeah, you know what? Let's just talk about because you talked about earlier having all these different, you're this, you're that. What about being an aunt? What's that been like? You have so many nieces and nephews
I know.
now. It's like
it just never ends. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I am an auntie, and definitely that is one of my most favorite things in life, and favorite roles, or whatever you want to call it, that I get to be.
I know it's a role.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really incredible because you get to have such a special bond and relationship with somebody that is obviously family, but they're not like a cousin or a kid you babysit. Like, they're the closest thing to being your own child.
Yeah.
That it can be without it being your own child.
Yeah, and they look like you.
Yeah, and some more than others,
yeah,
but
I know, right?
yeah, and it's so much fun because I don't know when I'll have kids or not. I mean, who knows? But I get
you got
to
plenty of time.
Yeah, but that cup gets filled by those kids, and I get to just be like the cool, fun auntie.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
I don't need to like. I mean, I will discipline if I need to. I won't let kids be little shits or anything.
Right.
But like, it's just, I think it's a special bond, just also because I love my aunts too, like, and it's a special relationship. Cause also think about it, like with like Auntie Di, like, she is like the most significant motherly figure that's not a mom. Like, it's a really cool relationship to get to have, and so yeah, I'm really, really lucky that I have so many nieces and nephews. Literally 2 nephews, 2 nieces, and then Celeste, to be determined what she's gonna have.
Yeah.
They still don't know. She's doing like how long? A couple months.
I don't know. She's in her 3rd trimester.
Yeah.
Though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a boy.
Me too.
Margot has to be an only girl. Come on.
Margie.
Yeah, but it's incredible, and it's just really fun. It's like also fun to like connect your inner child with them, like, and play, and like just be, especially with Margot. I don't know, because I never like there was never like a girl.
Oh wow, that's right.
Yeah, so
I know all these boys.
There was never a baby girl in the family for me to like have a bond to. And so, and even when I like was nannying for West, that's a boy too. So it was like I had Ryder, my nephew, Mason, like these are all these little boys. And I always thought to myself, like, okay, I definitely want boys, like, whatever. And it's a very different experience. And then Margot was born, and now she's, wait, is Margot 2?
Yeah, she's a little over 2, yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I just have a special relationship with that girl.
So sweet.
She's so sweet, and I just feel like, I don't know, it's just like weird too, because I feel like she also like looks like me, and I'm just like,
no, yeah,
I
that's
feel
what
like
I mean.
I'm looking
she does,
at my child self sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like
it's so
trippy.
Cool, right?
Yeah, but it just like, it helps you like kind of like go back to a time when you were that.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's like it creates this portal for you to go back and be like, wait a second. If there was these times where I felt like I wasn't getting what I needed, I can do that right now with this child.
Exactly. Whoa. And you know, that's a lot of inner child healing and stuff that comes up with that, but it's just such an interesting experience. And like, you look at this like baby girl or toddler, and you just feel, it's weird because it almost also makes you feel more like compassion and softness for yourself.
Yeah.
Too. It's a trip, like, it really is. But it wasn't until Margot was born that I wanted my own daughter. I really never wanted a girl for some reason.
You didn't experience it.
And also because I just felt like I was so like in my masculine and like, and so now it's just interesting because I even see it with Dylan, our brother, who's Margot's dad. he literally has like a softness to him that he didn't have before. And it's just so interesting to see like what kids can do to you.
I know. I love it. I love what Amara brings out of me. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely. She'll love me one day. She's a toughie. Like it's okay. She's going through a phase, but
yeah.
Anyways, being an aunt is amazing.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think with all the chaos now at the house, we're gonna cut it there. We got Little showing up, and we're gonna go see The Lion King live tonight.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I know, it's gonna be
that
epic.
not like sick?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know, we're living a great life.
I know. Our mom really does the most amazing things for us, and
yeah.
It was was that like a Christmas?
It was a Christmas gift that we were not supposed to get on Christmas, so we were doing no gifts this year. And
we did experiences instead.
Yeah, which was super cool.
Yeah, we went to Joshua Tree.
But all right,
cool. Yeah, it's starting. This house gets really crazy, so should wrap it up.
Yep, we're out. Thank you,
Bye.
fam. Check in again. And, for next time, I'm sure we're going to have Em back on again.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, bye, guys.